Nicola Bulley, The Danger of Snapshotting. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. British viewers will be fully familiar with the recent disappearance of Nicola Bulley. International viewers may not be aware, and therefore I'm going to provide you with a brief background to the circumstances to help your understanding before moving on to the main subject related to the disappearance of this lady. On the 27th of January 2023, 45-year-old Nicola Bulley disappeared near St Michael's-on-Wyre in Lancashire, a village in the United Kingdom. She disappeared while she was walking her dog. Lancashire Police's hypothesis is that Nicola Bulley fell into the River Wyre, but despite a search, including police divers and helicopters, sniffer dogs and drones, she has not been found. She was born in Essex and moved to Lancashire in the late 1990s. She's the mother of 2 daughters, has a 44-year-old partner, and the family has a dog named Willow. On the 27th of January 2023, she drove from her home in Inskip to the nearby village of St Michael's-on-Wyre, where, after dropping her children off at school, she walked along the River Wyre with Willow. At 8:53 a.m, Bulley sent an email to her employer. At 8:57 a.m, she sent a text to a friend to arrange a playdate for that week. She then joined a Microsoft Teams call at 9:01 a.m. She was last seen at approximately 9:10 a.m. on the upper field, walking her dog off the lead. At 9:20 a.m, Nicola Bulley's phone was believed to be at a bench in the lower field. At 9:30, the call ended. At 9:33, Bulley's mobile phone, still connected to the call, was found at the bench. Her dog Willow was found alone near the bench and showed no signs of having been in the river. The dog's harness was found on the ground near the river. The investigation for Bulley was initially focused on a woman in a red coat spotted on CCTV walking a dog near the site of Nicola Bulley's disappearance. The woman was later identified as a 68-year-old woman who confirmed she hadn't seen Nicola Bulley. On the 4th of February, police released a CCTV image of a woman with a pram who was walking in the area at the time of Bulley's disappearance. The individual was later identified and is a witness. Searches of the river and riverbank from St Michael's-on-Wyre to the sea have not found anything. On the 3rd of February, Lancashire Police stated that they believed Bulley's disappearance was neither suspicious, criminal, nor involved a third party. Police speculation that Nicola Bulley had fallen into the River Wyre was met by criticism by many people, including her family and friends, who stated that the claim lacks evidence. The superintendent of the Lancashire Police reiterated that this remained the force's working hypothesis, and they were as sure as they can be that Bulley had not left the area. The searches involved police divers, a helicopter, sniffer dogs and drones, and has been assisted by the Coast Guard mountain rescue and fire crews. Members of the public have helped with the search, and police have requested the community look out for Bulley's clothing, including a black quilted gilet, a black Engelbert Strauss coat, and an ankle-length green Wellington boots. She had been wearing her Fitbit, and police have analysed its account. Peter Folding, the head of a team of divers involved in the search, described Bulley's disappearance as strange, and stated that in his 20-year career he had never seen something so unusual. Accordingly, Nicola Bulley remains missing, and it has prompted considerable speculation by armchair detectives as to what has happened. There are some that think that she's fallen in the river. There are others that think that that isn't right, since there's no sign of slippage into the river, no scuff marks on the sides of the river bank. There's also others that say that she's a very strong swimmer, and that the nature of the river is that it is, in inverted commas, benign, where it's not particularly deep nor particularly fast-flowing, and had she fallen in, she probably would have been able to get out. Other people also have commented about the fact that they believe the dog would have jumped in after her, and the dog wasn't wet. And therefore, there are people that believe that actually she hasn't fallen in the river, and something else has happened. that somebody else might be involved in her disappearance. Naturally, there are those who have suggested that she might have committed suicide. Again, there's no evidence to support that, and indeed, there is evidence that suggests to the contrary, involving, of course, the fact that she has children and the plans that she had made for the future. Although, of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody won't do it, but they tend to be buffers as against it, particularly the presence of children. There are all manner of different hypotheses that are being speculated upon, and of course members of the family and friends of Nicola Bulley have expressed their concern about the nature of this speculation, deeming it to be unhelpful. As part of that speculation, and indeed I have had people contact me about it, focus has fallen upon Nicola Bulley's partner, Paul Ansell. It is, of course, common in such instances where a person disappears for the spotlight to fall upon their partner or spouse, that they are often seen as the prime suspect. And there are those that have commented about Mr. Ansell. Mr. Ansell has said that he won't lose hope of finding Nicola, and he's trying to be strong for their 2 daughters. The 2 of them had been in a relationship for 12 years, and they share a home in Inskip, and they have 2 daughters. Mr. Ansell was interviewed and explained that it's just a perpetual hell, it's just utter disbelief. We're living through this, but it doesn't feel real. We need to find her. She's got 2 little girls that need their mummy home. Mr. Ansell has spoken about how the pair would take it in turns to take the children to school, and on this occasion Miss Bulley had dropped them off on the day in question. Miss Bulley's parents revealed how their 2 granddaughters had broken down when her partner had to tell them that mummy is lost. Mr. Ansell told the press, "I can't believe that we're here a week on, and as yet it seems like we're not further on. It just seems absolutely impossible, like a dream. I just can't get my head around it. We're never going to lose hope, but it is as though she has vanished into thin air. It's just insane." So Mr. Bulley has the difficult situation of his partner having gone missing, and, of course, having to deal with 2 daughters who have, at the moment, have a missing mother. There are those that have speculated in comment section, and people who actually contacted me about Mr. Ansell, asking, could he be a narcissist? Could he be the one that is linked to Nicola Bulley's disappearance? And people who have contacted me have expressed their concerns as a consequence of saying that in the photographs of him, they believe that he exhibits dead eyes. Furthermore, they've made reference to the manner by which he was interviewed. Namely, he wasn't interviewed with other members of the family. He was interviewed separate from Nicola Bulley's parents. And also that in the course of being interviewed, he came across as very calm. Some have suggested even cold, detached. And therefore, it has been suggested, when people have contacted me, that they believe that he may well be a narcissist and therefore could well be involved, as a consequence of needing to control his partner, in the disappearance of Nicola Bulley. They suggest that he has dead eyes. I disagree with that. I don't think that that's demonstrative from the pictures that have been shared. They also, as I've mentioned, point to his mannerisms in the course of the interview. And this is the danger of what I call snapshotting, that whilst it's important for people to have an understanding about narcissism because of the impact that it has on people's lives, those of you that have studied my work and indeed been involved with narcissists know only too well your personal cost of the involvement, but also how extensive now the reach of narcissists around the world are, or rather is, as a consequence of the impact that it has. Narcissists involved in causing wars, in engaging in embezzlement of national funds, in causing the death of individuals, causing industries to fail as a consequence of pillaging their assets and resources, the damage upon people's lives in terms of redundancy, individuals who are affected personally as a consequence of the intimate involvement with the narcissist, you know that the reach of narcissists around the world is considerable, and therefore it's important to have this understanding. But that understanding needs to be tempered and balanced by always examining the evidence. And it's quite clear here that a number of individuals have jumped the gun and jumped to conclusions with regard to Mr. Ansell which are, so far, unsubstantiated. The fact is that whilst they say that he has dead eyes, I disagree with that. Furthermore, they're reading something into the way that he's been interviewed. The fact that he was calm and detached may well be the way that he's dealing with the trauma of the loss of somebody that he's close to and loves. Yes, it is commonly the case that when somebody goes missing, that the intimate partner is involved. Indeed, most people who are murdered tend to find themselves being murdered by somebody that knows them, and often that is the intimate partner. But so far there's no evidence whatsoever to show that that's the case here. Indeed, as I understand it, there's evidence that demonstrates that Mr. Ansell could not be involved in the disappearance, and therefore such speculation is baseless with regard to his involvement. But I've utilised this prominent example to highlight the danger of snapshotting, namely, labelling somebody as a narcissist on only the flimsiest of evidence. The fact is, you cannot label someone as a narcissist based upon one photograph or one interview. Yes, you may be able to spot narcissistic indicators, but you can't make a determination because there simply isn't sufficient evidence in terms of, one, being shown to occur over a sustained period of time, and two, a range of narcissistic indicators, not just one or two. There has to be a range so that the various heads that determine narcissism are met. Mr. Ansell doesn't come anywhere near those. Indeed, the evidence suggests to the contrary. Accordingly, those that have suggested to me, oh, he appears to be a narcissist and therefore that would suggest that he's had some involvement, have leapt to an erroneous conclusion by engaging in the process of snapshotting, and this is not something that people ought to do. Whilst I encourage you to make assessments of individuals to hone your narc detecting skills, naturally it's important that you do so with proper regard to this evidence in terms of it being over a sustained period of time, and that you ensure that it's comprehensive. By way of contrast, there'll be later videos in the course of today which demonstrate instances of where you can make determinations that someone is a narcissist, because we do have the evidence over a sustained period of time, and there's a range of it to hit those different heads to show those narcissistic indicators that in aggregate get that individual over the threshold to demonstrate that they're a narcissist, i.e. there is no snapshotting taking place, but rather a look at the behaviour in aggregate over a sustained period of time. Here, people have engaged in snapshotting. It's misleading, dangerous, and also unhelpful to you because it causes you to reach the wrong conclusion. I explain to you time and time again, you must go to the evidence, and that evidence must be detailed, comprehensive, over that sustained period of time, and cover a range of behaviours. Keep that at the forefront of your mind when you are making assessments of individuals. And of course, when it comes to your own personal interactions, you can do no better than involve myself through the narc detector to make that determination, to assist you, utilising my objective expertise. But here, in this instance, the suggestion that Paul Ansell is a narcissist is indicative of people engaging in the practice of snapshotting, and this must be completely discouraged. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.